Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network. We are back, baby. We are so back.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Did you lose?
You shut your mouth! Every year I set this league up, every year, and I never win! This was the year! Bullshit! I babysit you morons, I babysit you! Oh, help me out, do this, move that guy around! Oh, I don't know how to set a lineup!
That's right. Stay calm, everyone, because we have brought it back from the dead, at least for 1 week, for the 2026 schedule reveal. I have been looking forward to this thing for weeks now. And with me today, we have brought back the gang. We've got Jameson back on the show. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, it feels so weird, but so nice to be back.
That's what she said.
And of course, we've got Isaac back, owner of Buck Your Mother.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
Exactly, what's up, everybody? It's good to be back.
Oh man, yeah, it's God, dude, it's the last time we all three did a show together for the LCC was 2019. So roughly, by the end of this summer, it'd been 7 years. So crazy.
Wow. Our children weren't born yet. We'd just gotten married, I think.
Isaac hadn't even kissed a girl yet by that point.
Isaac.
So, I'm kidding.
Except your mom.
Oh man, no, I'm so excited for this show. The schedule reveal, even back in the day when we used to do this podcast on a regular, was always something I look forward to. I love putting it together. And honestly, this could if we let it, this could be a 2-hour show easily, but we're not. We're not going to let that happen. For all our sakes and for our wives and children's sakes, we are not letting this show go that long. But no, we got a good one for you guys. We're going to be obviously breaking down some of the matchups, but we're not going to go into every single matchup in every single week. One, because that's dry, that's boring as hell. You guys don't want to see that. I obviously have the games up in front of you guys right now as you're watching / listening, so you're more than welcome to follow along that way. But we actually have a lot of talking points that we're going to go through for this show tonight. We are officially a week away from the NFL draft, by the way. As far as announcements go, you got that going on. We also have the developmental draft in the LCC, which is the first big event in the league, is May 9th. So how many weeks away is that, guys?
It's like three?
Three-ish? Yeah.
Something
three
like that.
this Saturday would be
Three in 2 days.
Yeah. Crazy.
From recording. Yep.
And for the first time ever, we'll see if enough people get on board, because this could be really fun or it could be a complete flop. But for the first time ever, we're going to try to do an LCC Media Week here in the league, and give guys an opportunity to talk trash, but also talk a little bit about their journey through the offseason, what happened last season, so on and so on. Obviously, I don't expect everyone to participate. For those who want to, I think it could be fun. Still haven't figured out how we're going to do it yet, but it'll be kind of broken up over the week, essentially. But that's pretty much it for the month of May and April.
Yeah, you got 1 month to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure.
No pressure.
All right. Well, let's dive into it, guys. 2026 is here. This schedule started getting built back in January and was wrapped up in March. So it was a doozy. And part of that, I think I was telling at least one of you guys here before we started the show, that the reason why it took so long and why it was so difficult this year in particular is because for the first time in years, we do not have out-of-conference matchups in week one. Normally, we would have divisional matchups and non-conference matchups mixed together, and of course, the two Little Critter Bowl champions would have a rematch in week one. Well, now the Detroit Bad Boys has moved over to the Backyard Conference, who play the Eastside Brawlers from the Backyard Conference, the Little Critter Bowl last year. We had to switch it up. So now we got divisional matchups in week one and in-conference matchups. So, and we'll dive more into that particular matchup here in a moment. But yeah, a lot of work went into making this. And by the way, it's the first time in over a decade that the schedule changed like that. So kind of cool, but also kind of a pain in the butt from my perspective. Also, September Slam Week, the most controversial week of the year in the LCC, the doubleheader week, is set for week 3 again. Take that for however you want. And then the Witching Week, which is the week where we have a handful of protected rivalries, the week of Halloween, of course, that'll be in week 8. And then new divisions. Yeah, sorry. Someone was typing in the show as I was reading. I was like, hang on. No, so we do have some new divisional alignments because we had some turnover and stuff during the off season, which always happens. But it kind of got to the point where I felt like we had a lot of teams or a lot of people in divisions and conferences that didn't know each other. So we kind of wanted to pack in more each division at least with people who knew each other. And it's still not perfect because we had some people join after we realigned pretty much. Isaac took Cody's team over, for example, which Cody was in the Backyard Central. Now that team is in the Backyard East. West Coast Wolverines was in the Backyard East. Now they're in the Front Yard Central. I think Spartanburg Strutters. How am I remembering this? I can't remember what I ate yesterday.
I was about to say, you're on a roll. Keep going.
Spartanburg Strutters. Everyone knows I have the worst memory in the world. So Spartanburg Strutters went from the Front Yard East to the Front Yard West. Detroit Bad Boys went from the Front Yard West to the Backyard Central. Gator went from the Front Yard Central to the Backyard West. And who else? Oh, and then here for the TDs went from the Backyard West to the Front Yard East. So I think I covered all the realignment stuff that impacts the schedule.
Yeah, because that's pretty important to how the schedule was structured with all the changes going on. So I thought it was definitely worth mentioning all the changes that had to go through to get the schedule right.
Yeah. It was. It made it kind of fun because it was different, but also it was like, man, this is taking longer than it normally does. And I'm glad I started as early as I did because I feel like it wasn't long after New Year's when I started building the schedule out. But yeah, so a few other housekeeping / notes, I guess I should say, before we dive into some of the cooler stuff. On paper, the 2 toughest schedules in the league are Detroit Bad Boys and Eastside Brawlers. They both have a combined opponent record from 2025 of 114 wins and 82 losses. Each of them only plays 2 opponents who finished 2025 with a losing record, which is insane. Like, every divisional winner has a tougher schedule because of the way we do our schedules. But I feel like this year it's a little ramped up, maybe because of the realignment. I don't know. But that was interesting once I got done building it. And then Beg for G-Rag, of all teams, enters the season with the easiest schedule on paper with a combined 2025 opponent record of 74 wins and 122 losses. That's nearly 2-to-1 ratio of losses to wins. And 7 of their matchups are against opponents that won 4 games or fewer in 2025. That's half their games are against teams who finished with 4 wins or fewer last season, which is crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bedford G-Reg has some tough matchups, and you guys are probably seeing it right now. But something to take note of. And again, this is on paper, right? So in theory, those teams who did bad last year, in theory, they have earlier draft picks, so they actually might be better. So we could be looking at a flip-flop here of actually Bedford G-Reg has the hardest schedule, and Detroit and Eastside have the easiest. So, take it for what it is. We build the schedule out way before the keeper deadline intentionally and before the NFL schedule drops. So there's no bias involved or anything. Let's see. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus is the only Jiu-Jitsu Jesus is only 4 wins away from reaching 100 career regular season wins, and only 4 other teams have done this. So it's something to keep in mind, too, as you're looking at these matchups and looking at which opponents that team has. And the Spurs are only 2 wins away from being the second team to earn 50 divisional wins. He literally only has to win, let's see, you got, what is that, a third, basically, of his divisional matchups, and he's there. 50 divisional wins, that's pretty crazy. And
Who's number 1?
What'd you say?
Who's number 1?
I think it's me, actually, and I don't know the number off the top of my head. You know me, the regular season king, the playoff gesture. I don't know. I can't think of a good antonym to that. But Spartanburg Strutters are 3 losses away from tying the longest regular season losing streak. That's crazy. That's crazy. Only 3 losses away. It's like it feels hard to do, but also maybe not. I mean, if depending on luck, how fantasy is, there's some skill involved, but there's a lot of luck involved. And one little fun fact about week 1, the most points ever scored in week 1 by a player came in 2022 when Minka Fitzpatrick scored 93 points to help Roebuck Leprechauns, my team, defeat. I didn't write the opponent down, so it doesn't matter. 294 to 236. Very anticlimactic, but I built that up.
You really. No, go ahead.
Man. No, but that's it. That's all the fun news and notes about the schedule before we dive into the fun stuff.
Real quick. So the
Yeah.
Spartanburg Strutters play Guardians of the Gridiron week 1, Shuttlecocks week 2, and Who's Your Daddy week 3. Do we see them winning 3 games, or we see them making the record for the longest losing streak?
I really think he's going to have a better year. Spartanburg Strutters was put in a position where going into the keeper deadline looked like a great team, looked like a team that might compete for the playoffs, and then I'm pretty sure he forgot to submit his keepers, if I remember right. And he didn't get to keep anyone. Am I remembering that right, Jameson?
He either didn't keep keepers or he like tagged somebody, but I can't remember.
It was something where he lost all of his talent and he had to build from scratch, and it just was an uphill battle, honestly. Like, he wasn't really put in a position to be successful. So I really think that team, John's team, will be much better in 2026. I'm not saying it's a championship team, but I think he does. I think he gets a win somewhere in those first 3 weeks.
I think he loses the first 2 and then wins the third one.
Oh, that'd be stressful.
Coming up one short.
Week 3 is a doubleheader, though. His other opponent, week 3, is John, the champion of the league right now.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So how does that work? If he wins one and loses one, does he get the longest streak, or does he come? Which one goes first?
I guess we'll see what the website tells us. I really don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah. Like, maybe it depends on which game finishes first.
Did you have any Monday night guys, or did you have
any Monday night players?
Oh, man.
That's a tough out, though, for those first 3 weeks. Is going to be tough. Peyton, Bryce, and Bryce is a former champion, too, right? I think he plays him in week 2.
Yeah.
So
Bryce went back to back.
2 champions in his first 3 weeks. That's a tough out.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you guys want to add about just the schedule in general, or thoughts, or any of that stuff?
Jameson?
No, I mean, the only thing I like to call out is some of the traditions and things through the schedule. So you kind of called out the 2 Little Critter Bowl participants being in week 1.
Yes.
I get to book in my seasons with Tyler, so I get to open against him. I think we've been doing this for, as long as I can remember, probably at least 10 years or so. So I really like that little tradition, and I'm hoping to see more of that. I'd like to kind of see more guys build some of that into the schedule if they're interested.
Yeah, you own that series 13-8.
Oof.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yep.
Now,
keep it up.
If Tyler sweeps you, Jameson, then that series is actually kind of close to that point. 13-10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he has swept me 1 time in all of our matchups every year. Maybe. Actually, I don't remember. Maybe it's happened once. But no, he's became a more formidable opponent the last few years for sure.
Oh wait, speaking of Tyler, I got a sound drop for him.
Hey! Look at me. Sure. Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, no, I love the history. I actually had to give up because I'm kind of like you, James. I've been playing Eastside Brawlers, my dad's team, for years now, week 1 and in the final week of the regular season. But because he, made it and won the Little Critter Bowl, I had to prioritize that over my rivalry. So it's definitely first time in a while. I'd have to go back and look, but it's been years since we haven't played each other in week 1.
It's okay, baby. You got me week 1. And by the way, if I sweep you, our series will be tied at 5-5. Right now, you own the series 5-3. So,
Okay. Actually, we don't play each other week 1 though. I think you play you play Afternoon Delights week 1.
oh, okay, because one of your show docs is wrong then.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now. But yeah, so week 1's got a lot of interesting ones, and we've got some new guys in the league too who are going to be cutting their teeth in the first week of the season. And as we all know, guys, fantasy football week 1 is like the craziest week. Players are doing things they normally don't do, and vice versa. Someone like goes off. It's just kind of insane, honestly. Week 1, you never know what you're going to get. But like box of chocolates.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's unpredictable, but yeah, it can be a little bit crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say you're gonna play a "Life Is Like a Box of Chocolates" sound drop. I was waiting for. I was waiting for it.
I definitely
We
queued
both
it
just
up
kind of like
perfectly,
sat
but I
there
don't
and
have that. I don't. Well, let's go into our first actual topic of the show. This is our matchup of the year. So this is where each of us are going to pick at least one matchup, maybe multiple, that we're most excited about. And I guess, guys, we'll just start with the most obvious one here: the rematch of the 2025 Little Critter Bowl, Detroit Bad Boys versus Eastside Brawlers. I've got Eastside Brawlers sound drop here.
I'm over 72, and I feel great.
Oh,
That's a good
John.
one.
Oh, if he's listening to this right now, you cannot let Patrick get away with that. Oh my goodness.
Oh man! And Isaac, this is a matchup I think you were really excited about talking. I'll let you kind of start us off here a little bit on this one.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so obviously the low hanging fruit was the Little Critter Bowl rematch. But think a little bit outside of the box when looking at the schedule. Obviously, I've been away for a couple of years, a lot of new teams around there. So one really stood out to me, and it is going to be the last week of the season, week 13. It will be the Spurs Cameron versus Detroit Bad Boys Billy. So their all-time head-to-head series is 5-5 with only a 13-point differential. And the last time that they played was in 2021. So it's been some years since they've actually played each other. So this game is so pivotal, one, because it might determine who makes the playoffs, who doesn't make the playoffs, and then who wins the division. Because both guys, I mean, Cameron looks like he just missed it last year, and then Billy was able to sneak in. So it's going to be a very pivotal game to watch at the end of the regular season. So that's probably the one that I'm most excited to watch. And obviously, they have the rivalry back from when I was in the league, so I'm very familiar with it, and I can't wait to watch it.
So,
Yeah.
Isaac, are you calling right now that do you think this game is going to be like whoever wins this game wins the division in week
Yes,
13?
yes.
Do you want to give us a prediction?
I think Cam gets it. As much as Billy's my guy, I don't know. Cam missed the playoffs last year, and I think he comes out because apparently after I left, he went on some rampant run of championships, which, I mean, he was not irrelevant, but he was not, a juggernaut when I was in the league. So apparently he went on some type of Kansas City run, and he missed last year. So I could see him trying to reestablish himself as a playoff contender and taking home the division.
Well, we know Cam's happy to hear that. We know he's listening to this right now. Cam, drop an emoji in the Discord chat. Let us know you heard this.
Yeah, when I think of these two teams, like, and both of these people, right? That's what makes rivalries in fantasy football. It's not necessarily the teams, but the people themselves. Obviously, like these guys have known each other since, like, I almost want to say toddlerhood, but maybe a little after that. Definitely elementary school. They've known each other for quite a while. Played little league sports together. I remember Billy when he was like really small, like just like a kid. And even back then, I felt like Cameron has always been like this competitive individual. And anyone that knows Cameron will agree. Like, yes, he is like overly competitive over things that most people wouldn't even be serious about. But because that he will, I remember he would like egg Billy on all the time. And I'm sure now they're in the same division again and they work together to a certain extent that yes, Cameron's gonna be talking trash to Billy in Discord, out of Discord, and he's just gonna want to be Cameron so bad, just like everyone else does, whenever they have to play him on a regular basis or semi-regular basis. So these guys also too, they're just great competitors in fantasy. Obviously, Cameron, like he said, Isaac went on a crazy run right around the time you left for a little while, and I think for me though, when I think of both of these teams, I really think of great defenses to a certain extent because when you, which I don't even know if you guys have access to this data like I do, but I track year over year offensive and defensive rankings for people to kind of identify who are like the best IDP talent evaluators, who are the best offensive talent evaluators year after year. Cameron is a top 10 um, person in terms of year over year defense. He's had some years where he's bottom of the barrel, but on the flip side, that year he had the number one offense. So Billy, on the other hand, he's had some great defenses. He's coming off 2025 with the fourth best defense in the league. Cameron 15th. You know, I'm interested to see what they do in the offseason. I think Cameron's already identified maybe some IDP keepers potentially for this year. It's going to be, like you said, Isaac, I think this I don't want to say it'll decide the division, but it's definitely going to decide who goes to the playoffs for sure.
Okay, so who if you don't think it's going to decide the division, do you really think who's the other person in there?
I think
Shuttlecock?
Tang Bang and Sandstorm Troopers
Oh, okay.
are both um, competitive. I think Tang Bang, Will Watson, he's had issues with consistency. So usually the year after he makes the playoffs, he doesn't. So he could be on a down year this year. But Sandstorm Troopers, man, is always just lingering around in the playoff conversation. Um, and he's had some great teams in the past several years. So I wouldn't put it past him to have a shot at winning it too. But it's a very competitive division. It could go any way, I feel like.
Well, perfect segue. Obviously, was the matchup that I said. So, Jameson, on the flip side, do you want to go ahead and do yours?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny that you brought up Billy and the Spurs because they're in what I'm about to talk about in week 4. So I'm not talking about one matchup. I'm talking about week 4 as a whole. And here's why I want to talk about week 4. So week 4 is a full-on divisional week. So every single person's playing somebody in their division. And just looking through this list, there are multiple rivalries through here. So we got you and Patrick, Jordan and John, Billy and Cameron, myself and Paul, who's Gator, came in the league last year. I'm in a few leagues with him. Just up and down, lots and lots of rivalry games. um, and I think what's even more fun is this is coming right after the doubleheader in week 3. Right. And so anyone who was in this league last year remembers what that doubleheader week was like. Lots of emotions, Patrick, and we remember a lot of guys upset, a lot of guys really excited, lots and lots of emotions across the spectrum. But it's really, really fun to watch this one in week 4 because when you come out of week 3, if you had a bad week, maybe you got swept, you're 0-2. This is your chance to turn it around against a divisional opponent. Those wins matter more. Those losses matter more. But it's so pivotal because if you have a bad week 3 and you come out flat in week 4, it really puts a damper on your season, or vice versa. It really kind of energizes you for a midseason push, right? So I really look forward to season 4. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All divisional games, lots of rivalries coming out of the doubleheader. It's just really, really going to be a lot of fun to see what happens there.
I bet you there's going to be several teams that go 0-3 coming out of the double bye week and losing in week 4, and their season is completely tilted after that. They could start 2-0 and then just 3 straight losses after that week 4.
I mean,
So
honestly, though, to me, that's not the worst outcome. My philosophy last year, and it's the same this year for me personally, is I want to be at least 1-1 going into week 3. Because if I finish week 3 going 0-2, that puts me at 1-3. And from my perspective, and I've seen it year after year, I can still make the playoffs at 1-3, and other people have done it even with a worse record than that.
not
It
in
is
our
harder. It is
not in our
harder.
division. Not in our division. We're going to be battling for that.
I would say our division's tough, but it kind of comes down to like what did everyone else in our division do to a certain extent, and so there's a lot of pressure in week 3, but in my opinion, there's more pressure in week 4 than week 3 because after week 3, what's happened has happened, and if you let's say you are 1-3, maybe you're 0-4, right, and you're like, I'm not giving up. Well, buddy, lose week 4 for sure because I know it's only one game, but at that point,
But
it gets rough.
But you have to look at who we're playing though. Okay, so in the week doubleheader, I'm playing your dad in our division, and then you in week 4, and then I've already played Afternoon Delights in week 1, Jordan. So if let's just say I lose to Jordan and then I get swept by you and your dad, I'm 0-3 already in the stuff. So that's why I'm saying it's pivotal in our division.
It'd be 0-4. That's week 3. It's a doubleheader, so you would have played 2 games before then.
I know, but I wouldn't be playing. What I'm saying is protect the booty's not my division.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Division record. Sorry, I missed that.
Yes, division records. I mean, that determine the actual division winner. So if I'm 0-3 going after week 4, that's I pretty much have to go undefeated to be able to fight for the division title. Is what I'm
I see
getting
what
at.
you're saying. Yeah. I get that.
And that's why week 4 is so critical because it's a division game, it's an interconference game, and those are the first tiebreakers when it comes to like if you were to tie your record with someone in your division. Like, what is your division record? What's your conference record? Right? I've won multiple division titles off of my division record because I tied somebody else in my division, but I beat them or swept them or had a better record or whatever in the division. Those games are so much more important. And I mean, if you come out flat in week 3 and then you lose a divisional game the week after that, you are in hot water. Like your season's on the ropes, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
So I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And vice versa. If you win, you go 2-0 in week 3, you pick up a divisional win the week after that, no matter how you started in week 1 and 2, you are in a good place, right?
Yep.
You are feeling great. So I think week 4 is just so pivotal. Rivalries, divisions, so much fun. And I think by week 4 too in the NFL, you start to get a better sense of what's happening, right? Like who's real, who's not. You know, you
Who's
kind of
gonna
get
who's gonna sell? Who's not gonna sell? That's gonna
yeah.
be
The season starts to take place, and so for me, that's really where the season like starts to really ramp up is week 4. So like, I'm really looking forward to that one.
So I got a question for you guys, and if you don't know the answer, it's totally fine. There's no right or wrong answer. Honestly, it's more of opinion based. Is there a team in the LCC when you look at that doubleheader week in week 3, where you're like, which team do you think has probably the best chance at going 0-4, let's say, by the end of week 3, and which team has the best chance of being 4-0 after week 3?
I got mine right away.
Okay.
For 0-4, and this is no offense. I actually think he's going to be really good. He's made some good moves, but Ben is coming into a hard 4 weeks.
Okay.
You know, like let me walk through it real quick. He plays Bryce in week 1, former champion, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough game.
Yeah.
He's got Anthony here for the TDs, who is a sophomore player, right? So I mean that's a winnable game, but Anthony still has some talent. He goes into the doubleheader against West Coast Wolverines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that same week, I'm actually scrolling for it here. I
The
just saw it a few
Spurs.
minutes ago. The Spurs. So another champion, right? So I mean, he could easily be 1-3, 0-4, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he's new too, so he's learning the scoring system. He's learning how to navigate the games, and I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen. I think he's gonna be really good, but it's a tough 4 weeks or tough
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah. 3 weeks, 4 games.
Yeah.
Isaac, what about you? Do you have a team that you think might have the best shot at going 0-4 in the first 3 weeks?
Obviously, I'm coming back after such a long stint being away. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess one, it would probably be Hugo,
Okay.
because he plays you, he plays Jameson, he plays Gator, who is new, but Gator knows what he's doing. At least I know from an offensive standpoint. In another league I'm in with him, I'm not sure about the defense, but I think he can right the ship. And then Mount Holly Baby Dolls.
Yeah.
So I don't know Hugo's fantasy history, but I've also seen the team that he's inheriting,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
going to be in a bad spot.
Yeah. It's one of the hardest teams I've seen to have to rebuild in recent history in our league for sure. And part of it's because the guy, his predecessor, Eddie, great, awesome person. Love Eddie. Hate that he wasn't able to join us for 2026. But he was the type of person who lived so in the moment that there was never any future with that team. Like, if he had talent, or sorry, if he didn't have talent, he traded away future picks consistently. Like, I don't remember the last time he came into the draft with picks in the first 3 rounds, maybe first 4 rounds, because the way Jameson was in his division, so he knows better than anyone.
Oh, this is no exaggeration. I went to trade the year I was tanking. I went to trade Eddie players, and I was like, I want a first round pick. And I went to look at what I could trade for, and he didn't have one for like 2 years. I was like, well, never mind. I'm not trading with Eddie. And it was like week 4, and he had already
Yeah.
traded away like 2 first round picks already.
Oh man.
But
All
yeah,
right.
and Hugo, if we haven't called it out, is also new, right?
Yeah.
So trying to navigate the league his first year, he's got a tough road the first few weeks. It's gonna be hard.
So
Now, let me.
Pat, has
Yeah.
he played fantasy at all?
Yes. Yeah. So, for those that don't know, so Hugo is new to the league, obviously. I know him. He was a groomsman at my wedding. One of my wife's cousins, and Ben knows him. Isaac, you know him. Jameson, you've met him once, I think. There were some other guys in the league that may or may not remember him from my wedding. But anyways, he's played fantasy football before. He's never done IDP before. And neither has Matzo Ballers of the Marsh, which is Ben's team, which is most people, I think, that join our league. They don't have IDP experience, but I don't think it takes too long. I think after a year, maybe 2, you kind of get the lay of the land, at least in our league.
Yeah, but that first year is going to be rough,
Yeah, it's always it's a learning curve for sure. Okay,
especially with the team that he is inheriting. He's not having any favors done with him.
yeah. Well, I'll quickly tell you guys mine, and this might be a shocker to some, but when I tell you the schedule, it makes sense. It's the Eastside Brawlers, our defending champion, and I'm not calling like a Super Bowl slump kind of thing or anything like that. I'm just telling you the numbers. Okay, again, we already said it earlier. Toughest schedule on paper. Week 1, they play Detroit Bad Boys. We mentioned that. Week 2, Eastside Brawlers plays my team, and I'm not saying my team's like an elite team or anything, but we're always very competitive in our rivalry, and it could go either way. And then week 3, he's got Buck Your Mother, Isaac's team. And then
Which,
also in week 3, he's got Spartanburg Strutters, who has a very early draft pick, and I'm interested to see if he's able to turn that around. It's a tough sledding. It's tough sledding for him, the first part of the season.
yeah, what I was going to say is I even own the series against your dad 6-3, and you own the series against your dad 20-12. So historically, we do beat up on each other, but we do own the head-to-head over him.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to talk about my record against your dad. We can just move on. It's got to be like 1-6 or something. I swear, like it's horrendous.
Oh man. All right, so I guess we'll move on to. Oh wait, I don't think I've done my team yet or my matchup. Sorry. So my matchup of the year, or the matchup I'm most excited about, I guess that's probably the best way to describe this little segment. Is actually we've talked about both teams a lot already, but it's Gator at Matzo Ballers of the Marsh. Gator, of course, is Paul's team. He's our reigning rookie GM of the year, going against Ben, a rookie GM this season. Paul has a year under his belt. I think you can tell by the trades he's done. He's really figured out the rules. And Ben, trust me, like this guy, I've never seen anyone join our league and take it so serious, like from the start. Like he set up literally a phone call with me that first week he joined, and it was like, hey, I just want to do a quick call to make sure I understand the rules. And we were in the phone for like 20 minutes. I'm explaining the rules to him. And then within days after that, he's pulling off a trade that most rookie GMs don't do. And it's a player swap to where you don't have to sacrifice a draft pick to keep a more valuable player. And to pull that off in your rookie season, I would say it's pretty unheard of, honestly. I don't know if it's ever happened before for a rookie GM in our league. But that was really impressive to see. And that kind of told me that was a sign that this team and this GM might be scary from the start. And I think these two teams playing each other in, week 6, right in the middle of the season, this could be a really good matchup once we get into like mid-October. Because by then, we already talked about Matzo Baller's first part of the season. It's really tough. Gator is in the opposite end. You look at the beginning part of his schedule, and I don't want to say it's a cakewalk, but it is pretty solid, at least when you compare 2025 records. He only plays one team with a winning record in the first 4 games of the season, really the first 5 games of the season. So I think that we could have a really good matchup there. It's something I'm looking forward to seeing.
good.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, I
So
agree
let's
with
move on
that.
to our. Oh, what were you
No,
saying?
no, I'm good. What I was gonna talk about is in the next segment, but it's kind of related to that. So we'll go to the next
Okay,
segment.
okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was about to say
We're
I
a
didn't want
little,
to dig too
we're a
deep into
little,
your stuff.
we're a little rusty here.
Yeah. Sorry, it's only been like 7 years, So, anyways, we're gonna move on to our storyline of the season. So each of us will basically discuss the storyline that involves the schedule to a certain extent that excites us the most. And I don't know who wants to kick this one off.
So
One of you
I
guys
mean,
can.
I'll kick it off since it was kind of tied to what you were just talking about. And so for me, that storyline is kind of piggybacking off of what we talked about just a minute ago. But I want to see how these rookies and these second-year players come out with this schedule and navigate this season, right? And I think it's important not only because it's fun to watch as they're learning the rules and things, but it's usually a strong indication of like where we feel like they're going to be at in the future, right? Are they going to people who tend to find success early tend to stay? We've seen a lot of successful ones over the years with Bryce and I call him New Will, West Coast Wolverines. I don't actually know his last name, so I call him New Will. But we've seen a lot of success from some newer guys entering the last few years, and so I look forward to seeing Paul, Gator, and Matzabal and Hugo, and I feel like I'm forgetting one from last year, Anthony, and navigating the schedule and kind of watching how they strategize as they pick and drop players for what they need. So that's really what I think I'll be paying attention to is how some of these guys are doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I think, and I felt like I was kind of stealing some of your talking points, Jameson, earlier. That's why I was trying to rush my part because I was like, I don't want to overstep, but I agree, man. I think they're all in very interesting positions, and we haven't really talked about here for the TDs too much. But another sophomore GM, Guida, he's He's a really cool guy. I know a lot of people haven't met him, but he was another person who just did a player swap here in year two. So that was pretty cool to see him do that with Mount Holly Baby Dolls. Both swapped tier one type receivers, so they don't have to pay a pretty penny to keep them. So I thought that was a really smart move on their part. They're also in the same division though, so that'll be interesting when they play each other twice this year to see who got the better end of that player swap.
Yep.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go into mine.
Okay.
So mine is going to be about Cam, since I've already talked about the what I think is going to be the game of the year being between him and Billy, deciding the division. So do we really think that he's going to go 3 years in a row without winning that division? I think he will be, but that's the storyline because three after going like four straight championships between 2019, 2020, 2021. Up, no, almost four. He won 4 out of 5 between 2019 and 2023. Does he really go 3 straight years of not making the playoffs? Like that would be drastic from having such a climb to just falling completely apart, which I think he's got a good enough roster to be able to do it. He's got a nice schedule to be able to bounce back. And at this point, it's just like you're going to be a Hall of Fame, if not already in there in this league. You're going to be able to have that mindset, like you said already, Pat, with his efficiency, with finding, hidden gems in the rough. I think he's going to be just fine being able to bounce back and win that division. But that, for me, is the storyline.
Yeah, I think it's a really good one. I think Cameron is ultra competitive. He's not someone who's just gonna lay down and let his team miss the playoffs for three straight. Which two straight is already unheard of. Three would be like jarring to see.
And he was 8-6 last year, so it's not
Yeah,
like he did bad. He just
he got screwed,
missed the
just like
cut.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like he was that close. And even the year before, he was 6-7. So he was pretty much almost 50-50. So it's not like he's really had a bad year. Like last time I see on his history, his bad year was 2016 when he
yeah,
was 1-10, which
yeah.
the next year he was 10-2. So it just shows you the competitive nature of Cam. And I truly think that he'll be able to bounce back after that 2-year drop.
And you mentioned Hall of Fame. He is actually technically in our Hall of Fame. We don't. That's one thing I hope that we fix in the next year or so is that like people who get into our league's Hall of Fame, like they should get something. I'm not saying it needs to be money, but something like awesome, man. Like you're obviously one of the best people in the league to ever do
You,
it. You
you
deserve
got to give them
something.
like a little trophy or a pin or like a pennant or something. I don't know. Something like a knickknack that you can just have on your desk.
Yeah, something. A bobblehead. I don't know. Like
A
from The
Michael Scott,
Office.
a Michael Scott's Dundee Award.
Yeah, like a Dundee Award.
Yeah.
Something for sure.
All
Anything
right,
you
so
want to add to that, Jameson?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'll kind of let you kick off yours, Pat.
Okay. Yeah, so I've kind of gone back and forth with mine. One, I don't. This one doesn't really pertain to the schedule, but it's very interesting to me, and maybe it's more of a fun fact. But one thing I think is worth noting is the rise of East Side Brawlers, and he's obviously he's made two Little Critter Bowls and won one prior to 2025. It was many years ago, but still, you have to look at this. I don't want to call it a dynasty because he hasn't won multiple straight in this recent era, but his this recent rise to top-notch success all goes back to the first ever, I want to say, Debbie draft, where he selected Bijan Robinson from Texas and inherited him in the rookie draft as a result and built that team around him. Now, another team didn't get him in the Debbie draft, but did get him in the rookie draft is Protect the Booty, got James Cook. If both of those players are kept, then they're going to tie for the second most consecutive years rostered by the same team. The record is, of all people, Chris Carson, running back. I don't know if anyone remembers him from Seattle, but he was
What?
kept by Jiu-Jitsu Jesus from 2017 to 2021, or not kept, but rostered. I guess is a better word for this, right? But that is the
Oh my
longest anyone has been
goodness.
rostered by the same team. Chris Carson, how did he make it on a roster that many years straight? Is beyond me, but just crazy.
What was he like RB20 every year, and he was kept that long?
I don't know if
Well,
he was kept every year. I think he just got rostered by him every year.
but he was on the roster of Jiu-Jitsu at least at some point every single year for 4 years. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Um,
That is crazy.
so they now James Cook and Bijan Robinson probably will actually hold the record for the longest anyone has kept a player in the LCC, and probably
Yeah.
rightfully
So
so.
why wouldn't they keep them? Is the question.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I had to get a sip of water. My little throat was drying out over here. So, anyways, Bijan Robinson and James Cook. I mean, and really, if you go back and look at Tyler, Tyler's his team, Protect the Booty, has definitely had its up and downs throughout its franchise history. But I would say in the past, 3-4 years, Jameson is really when he started to turn things around back in like 2022. And I
Yeah.
think that was the year he got James Cook, right?
Yeah, well, you got James Cook. He in the rookie draft actually had him for 2 years, and then no, was it 2 years? For at least 2 years, and then he had to go to the regular draft, and then he got him back in the regular draft, and he's had
Did
him
he
for 2
really?
years
I did
now.
not know that. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he went back in
I
the draft pool. He
swear.
drafted him
Okay.
immediately again, and he's had him for like 4 consecutive years. Now this will be year 4.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting fun fact there. I did not know that. Yeah. So to me, and does that really involve the schedule? Not necessarily, but I do think it explains the rise of both of these teams in the past 4 or 5 years. And when you're looking at some of these other teams, the teams that we talked about, oh man, they've got a really uphill battle early in the year, or their team has struggled historically, blah, blah, blah. Kind of the same deal. All of that can change just like that if they draft, the future of the league in the Devy or rookie draft. And that's why I think it's so important to participate in both of those if you can, because one, it's just a lot of fun. I really think the Devy draft is like the coolest part of our off season, and I hate that only 12 teams get to participate in it. But that's a different story altogether. What I'm really trying to get at is all of these teams, right, that are looking at really difficult schedules, or they don't have a great keeper situation. Well, man, if you can get someone in the rookie draft, like a quarterback, or a running back, heck, even a linebacker. I mean, if you look at what's his face from Cleveland last year, and this is a great IDP rookie class, by the way.
Carson.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
I could never pronounce his last name.
I can't. I just can't think of it right now, honestly. But yeah, no,
It's like Schwestwiger or something like that.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger, yeah. And speaking of that, you go look at the third leg. That's the team that drafted him last year in the rookie draft. Where do you think his defense ranked at the end of 2025? You guys want to take a guess?
Top 3.
Jameson?
Yeah, I think it was pretty high. It would have been like top 3, top 5.
He was the second best defense in the league last year. And, and if you look back the previous 3 years, he had the 15th best defense in 2024, the 16th best in 2023, and the 19th best in 2022. Just like that, one player in the rookie draft helped this team turn his defense around from mediocrity to bad to elite. And I expect that again for this year for the third leg, Charles's team. So,
And he's a free keeper now.
And he's free. And
being
exactly.
a rookie.
Yes. Yeah. And Jameson, you were talking about Matzo Baller's Ben's team. That's another person that inherited such great young talent. And I think Isaac, I don't know if that was one of the teams you were considering when you were deciding which team you wanted to take over. But
Yep.
I did feel like that was one of those that are like, someone's going to want that one because it's got Abdul Carter, N'Kobe Dean, Tucker Kraft, which no one's probably going to keep Tucker Kraft in this league, but still someone's going to give him the waiver wire this year. Malik Neighbors, and he swapped his quarterbacks. Now he's got Drake May. So, yeah, I mean, the one off season, just like in the NFL, can really turn a franchise around in this league. In some cases, it can take multiple years. But I think if you're active and you're engaged and everything, you'll turn it around a lot faster than some people might think.
And then when it comes to the price of it, I mean, it doesn't cost. I mean, especially the developmental draft only costs Fab. I mean, when we did the Fab auction, it was just me and Pat. Nobody else participated.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's crazy.
we just had this crazy auction and just talked football for 30 minutes. But I mean, for me, I'm trying to set up my team long term. Yes, Cody went 12-2 last year, but I'm trying to make my own mark. He's already got Jeremiah Smith last year, so it's like I want to add to that. So I'll be set up and have all these free keepers from years to come.
Yeah, I think your team, Isaac, Buck, your mother, is definitely in a position where it's going to have a lot of good young talent for years to come because of being able to get multiple picks in this year's Devy draft. I'm interested to see if anyone trades as we get closer to the Devy draft, maybe even the day of, try to trade into it. But yeah, so I guess, I will say that's my storyline. I'll stick to that one because I don't want to kill too much time. I know we've been doing this show for nearly an hour at this point tonight. Yeah, I don't know. Anything you guys want to go over before we wrap it up?
Jameson?
I don't think so. Other than just give you a shout out, Pat, for working on the schedule the last 2 months. It's a lot. It's a lot of work to get the offseason stuff set up. So, appreciate you taking the lead on that.
Yeah, no problem. It's one of my favorite parts of the offseason outside of like the Devy draft. I enjoy doing it, but by the time I get done, I'm like, thank God that's it. Thank God. I'm looking forward to it next year, but that's why there's a long break in between.
And my final note is just I'm glad to be back. I miss a lot of you guys. And I just can't wait to get this year started.
Awesome, man. Well, glad you're back, Isaac. I hate that I have another competitor in my division again because West Coast Wolverines was already hard enough. You bet in it is going to be just as difficult as well. But I think it's great for the league that you're back, man. And I can't promise everyone that we'll continue to do like regular podcasts like we used to or anything, just because 7 years apart, we're in a different stage of life. Let's face it, it's definitely, we can't make that kind of commitment like we used to. But who knows? Maybe we'll do another episode later this off season or something. I don't know. But
I'm down.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it for sure.
I'm sure we can make it happen again.
Yeah, let us know if you guys want to hear our sweet little voices, talk to you about fantasy football. Just let us know. That way, we're appreciated. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That's it for the 2026 schedule reveal. Let us know what matchups you guys are excited about. Or if, maybe you're really pumped up about the Devy draft coming up next month, or the media day or media week here in the LCC. I think that'll be kind of cool if we're able to pull that off. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can do like a draft watch party or something as a league, like virtually or something. I don't know. But yeah, cool. That's great having you guys on the show. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you sometime.
Adios.
Bye-bye.